The NFL owners meeting concluded today with a few new rule changes as well as some proposed rules that are going to be tabled until the next meeting. We're going to go through all of them, starting with those rules that are going to be pushed back until the next owners meeting. Before we get too much further into this video, I do ask that you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. It would really help me out. In case you missed my last video, I was affected by a layoff by my company a couple weeks after welcoming my first child into the world. So any likes, comments, subscribes, it really helps the channel out and I really appreciate it. First and foremost, the tush push. It looks like the tush push is going to be tabled until the next meeting. It looks like about 16 teams were for it, 16 teams were against banning it. So it looks like there is some momentum there. So we will see what the next owners meeting looks like if that does indeed get banned. The tush push is a play the Philadelphia Eagles made famous, where they basically line up their linemen, a few people behind the quarterback, and the quarterback snaps the ball and they push him into the end zone or for the first down, what have you. This play is considered dangerous, even though there hasn't really been any injury for it, so I think that's why it's being tabled. I think they're going to look into this more, so it could be banned, but for the meantime, it looks like it might be okay. Another rule proposal that has been tabled was from the Detroit Lions. They want to reseed the playoff format so that the 4 division winners don't automatically get a home game. This has been tabled, and I personally don't think this is going to change. Winning that division, getting that home playoff game is such a huge thing for especially bad divisions like the AFC South that I don't see owners giving this up because it's a great way to create more revenue, especially if those higher seeded teams are supposed to be winning and possibly moving on. I just don't see this happening. There were a couple minor things that were voted on that did get approved, such as the Steelers rule where they proposed that a team should be allowed to speak directly to free agents. Basically, they can now accommodate flights, bring them in for visits. That's now going to be permitted within a certain time window. The other minor change is for kickoffs. If it is a touchback, currently it goes to that 30-yard line. The NFL is updating it now that it's going to go up to the 35-yard line. The reason behind this is they're hoping for less touchbacks and more return kicks because it's obviously a more exciting play. We'll see how that plays out. Hopefully this does have an impact because touchbacks aren't really fun, but we should see here in the next season how that plays out. I left the 2 biggest rule changes for the very end here because they're really going to change how the game is played. First and foremost, they're going to expand replay assist. Currently, the NFL allows coaches to challenge certain penalties that are thrown on certain plays. The NFL is expanding that now. Now it is going to include hits on a defensive player, grabbing the face mask, performing a horse collar tackle, tripping, and running into or roughing the kicker. Basically what happens is if a ref throws a flag on this play and the defending team does not agree with that flag and they think none of that happened, they will be able to challenge that and the ref will decide after the challenge. This does not, however, cover if a team believes a face mask or one of the other penalties happened, a flag must be thrown on the play. This is to help keep the game moving at a certain pace, that you can't just throw a challenge flag without a flag actually being thrown. I like this because it's going to help simplify the game and open up for future rule changes as far as challenging other plays. We're going to use these specific types of penalties to challenge to kind of test it out, kind of like how defensive pass interference was able to be challenged and it really didn't work. They're going to start with these smaller ones to see if they work, and if it does, it'll expand later in time, I believe. Lastly, and I think the most important rule change is that for overtimes, both teams will now get to possess the ball. It used to be that if overtime happened, one team would be able to get the ball until they scored a touchdown. It was over. If they kick a field goal, then the other team could possess the ball and try to either score or kick the field goal and then continue. Now, no matter what happens, the other team is going to get a chance to get the ball. I love this, and I think it's going to help the game so much. The walk-offs, yeah, they're fun, they're exciting when they happen, but it really isn't fair, especially when there's momentum on one side of the ball and they don't get that ball. There's a team that their offense scores a game-tying touchdown. Now, you'd want to keep that momentum on the field, but they go to the coin toss, they lose the coin toss, and their defense has to go out first. That team scores, the game's over. That's not very exciting. That's not very fair in the eyes of most fans. Now both teams will get a chance to possess that ball, and I just think this is a much better product for the NFL. They're going to keep the time limit still at 10 minutes. I'm sure the challenge rules and everything like that will stay the same, but currently this is what we're looking at. I really like this rule proposal if I haven't made it clear already, but let me know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you think rules should be changed, should not be changed, what rules did they miss, and do you think the tush push should be banned? Let me know everything down in the comments. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and until the next one, have a good one.